today at the 7th LBD World Auctioneering Championships. I'm Mark here on behalf of We are located at the Ponsonby Cruising Club, as today on 15 occasions we're going to sell half an acre either side of that bridge and the bridge with vacant possession to the to the purchaser. Now, this event has been significantly sponsored by our great friends at Trade Me. Jason Hussey's the boss over here. Maury and Anthony and Nathan, the team at Auctions Live, have been brilliant through the last 2 days. Rosie's our screener from ABC Photo Signs. They're all and of course, it doesn't happen without some of the best realtors in the country, and we've been sponsored through this event by Barfoot & Thompson, Bailey's, Harcourts, of course, and the very fine team at Apollo Auctions. So we give them a great round. Right, I've assembled a glittering array of judges, and the 7 that have participated over the last 3 days will participate in all the finals today. Lisa Yardley-Boese, Clarence White, Sabina Davison, Peter Walker, Karen Atwood, John Bowring, and Jason Hussey. The Budding Stars final has 4 from the initial 10 entries, and he's done that again where he's forgotten who's up first, and you can remind me. And our first contestant has come through the ranks nicely, and he's up here in his first ever final. We're really looking forward to how he gets on. The reserve is $799,000. We have 5 bidders in the room. They know there are 5 bidders in the room, 5 registrations, I told them. And we welcome this fellow from Harcourts in Christchurch, and he is Nathan Gilbert.
They say in life, timing is everything. When to take the chance, when to hold back, and when to go for it. And anyone who's ever tried crossing the Auckland Harbour Bridge at 5 p.m. knows this all too well. Get that timing wrong? Wow. It's a very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the auction for the Auckland Harbour Bridge, of course, on State Highway 1 here in Auckland City. By way of introduction, my name is Nathan Gilbert, of course your auctioneer today on behalf of Harcourts 4 Seasons, finishing off the good work of Mark Summit, your lead marketing consultant over the last few weeks, on behalf, of course, the New Zealand Government. Of course, Mark's been circulating and furnishing you with all the required paperwork to get yourselves here today in that all-important cash, clean and unconditional position. We remind you folks today that we do sell to you an estate in freehold. It is just over that 1 acre, or more specifically, it is 4,048 square metres. It is more formally and legally described as Lot 24 and 63 on Deposited Plan 100-163-51101. And it's all contained and outlined in that record of title that I know Mark has been making abundantly available to one and all. Settlement date, I strike that down for 3 months from today. We make that the 17th of June 2026, and that's when you get to enjoy the upside of what this is going to deliver. Schedule 1 outlines your list of channels. We take you've read the further term of sale, but those channels, good to see that storage shed staying on the northern side. That'll be great for those 1,000 cones, and of course those tinnies as well, of the paint variety. Folks, Mark's heard your price feedback over the last few weeks, and he's had some good robust discussions with the New Zealand Government. And they've set a confidential reserve price very much in line with their their motivation. The job today, very simple. It is simply to bid upwards towards that reserve price, and once it's met, if not bet, you hold that highest bid. When contract comes to palm in that fashion, well then congratulations, before you commence your celebrations, just 2 obligations. To sign the contract and memorandum evidencing the sale, and of course pay that all-important 10% deposit. Now during the auction today, I can nominate increments in which bidding takes place, however may refuse a bid not deemed in the very best interest of the New Zealand Government. If there's a dispute in the bidding today, although unlikely, I'll simply go back to the last undisputed bid or re-offer the property up for your participation from there. And in the absence of your bidding, ladies and gentlemen, well, I can place bids on behalf of the New Zealand Government only ever on 2 occasions, well below that reserve price and only ever in the absence of your bidding. When I do so, I'll make it abundantly clear by calling it a vendor bid. Folks, I hope that's clear. Now might be appropriate time for some questions. Very well then, suspicious. Well, never has such an icon and opportunity presented itself, ladies and gentlemen, like the Auckland Harbour Bridge and its 2 half-acre lots. I make that the Kiwi dream with a bridge in between. Famous for traffic, protests, Auckland marathons, bungee jumping, and even the occasional recreational car surfer. Built and completed, of course, in 1959, this beautiful LED light coat hanger is such a famous landmark across many Auckland postcards. Of course, it links the central city with the North Shore and vice versa, and without it, well, that's what nightmares are made of. Originally designed and built, of course, with 4 lanes, but expanded to double that, 8 lanes in 1969, by way of the addition of the Nippon clip-ons, making it that 43 metres wide. I make that a 1/4 pitching wedge. Yep. Today, 170,000 vehicles cross the Harbour Bridge, enjoy views of Auckland City, the Sky Tower, and of course Waitemata Harbour. And you get to enjoy those views too. Just make sure it's thumbs up on the steering wheel because those lanes are tight. Speaking of which, 170,000 vehicles gets me thinking about the financial upside of this prospect. They say that health is wealth. But in Auckland Central, they tell me, those on the shore believe that wealth is health. And I say to that, toll them. Think about the upside. $5 a car, $850,000 a day in revenue. That's a few more clip-ons and maybe a few more bike lanes too. Maybe it's a sure thing, maybe it's not. Is this a bridge to happiness or not? Folks, I'm in your hands. I call for an opening bid or offer here at the Auckland Harbour Bridge. Where do we see value? Where do we go? In your hands.
Mr. Auctioneer.
Yes, ma'am.
One of the things I know about chattels included in a sale is that they must all be in working order. And I know 1,000 road cones are part of the sale. Are they all usable?
If there's 1,000 there, they'll need to be usable. All the best with your bidding.
Yeah, Mr. Auctioneer, I note that the late settlement rate sits at a draconian 20% per annum.
That's right.
If the seller cannot provide me with vacant possession on the settlement date, are they in breach of contract, also at 20% per annum?
Sorry, can you just repeat the last bit of that question, sir?
If the seller cannot provide me with vacant possession on settlement date, are they in breach of the contract, also at 20% per annum?
It looks fairly vacant to me, sir. All the best with your bidding. Hope that answers your question and gives you confidence. Any more questions while we're at it? Well, very well then, ladies and gentlemen. In your hands, opening bids here at the Auckland Harbour Bridge. Where do we go from here? In your hands. Well, the owner's certainly happy to keep it for a little bit longer at 600,000. Perhaps that's a nice place to start. That's
429k.
429k, sir. Would you go me 500,000? I want to devalue this beautiful asset.
429k.
And all the best with your bidding, sir, at 429,000, and welcome in, and let's see if we can get you there at the end. But at 429, perhaps we just raise it straight up to 500 from here. But at 429, 20, 429 and 449, sir. At 449, and welcome into you too, 2 on the race at 44 and 9.
Same.
And 469. We move along with these 20s at 46 and 9, and 489 at the rear against you, ma'am, and you at 489 at the rear. First call at 489. twice at 489. Think of the upside, 850k a year at 489. Third and final time at 489. Well, I just go there on behalf of the vendor on a vendor bid at 509. Put 20 up on my own. Not for sale there, need to be better at 509. But we see 529 to keep things moving along. With the owner on a vendor bid.
559.
559 and a good bid, sir, at 559. Puts 50 on and well done. 559. 559 and 589. Very good. 30 is 30 as well. At 589, first call.
Same.
589 and 619. Got you there at 619. 30s at 619.
6.5.
650. 650 and a good bid at $650,000. First call at $650,000. Twice at 650. Third and final time
$750,000.
at $750,000 and a really good bid. Puts up 100. Like the cut of your jib, sir. Very much so at $750,000.
25.
And 25 at 775. And you're back in it. Good to see you back from your bidding sabbatical there at 775,000. And 10 at 7, 8 and 5. At 7, 8 and 5 and 2, sir. 7, 8 might be too early for 2s. At 7, 8, 5. Okay, you look resolute there with your 2 at 7, 8 and 7. 7, 8 and 7 and a good bid. We'll move with it. And 1 at 7, 8 and 8. At 788, sir. It's against you at the rear. First call at 788.
Look, these numbers, they're too confusing. I'll round it up.
800, sir. A good bid. 12 of your own at 800,000.
I'll make it a dozen.
Make a dozen. It's the same thing. At 800. Very good, sir. At 800,000 then, down in front. And good to see you too, sir. I'm not too sure if you've put a bid in yet, but it's good to see you now there at 800,000. First call then at 800,000.
Same as that.
812 and a good bid. Sir, 824 on your behalf, can I say? But at 812, first call over here on the right. Second call at 812,000. Third and final time at 812 down here. Well, there's nothing further, guys. We're on the market. We're selling. For what? Another bid down here on the right. At same 812 and 824 and a good bid at 824 and 836 at 836,000 on the left at 836,000. Okay, 836 and 848. 848 we have now and a good bid. Puts 12 on. We move to these 12s at 848. First
2.5.
2.5. Okay, 850 and a half. At 850 and a half then.
And me.
850 and a half and 803. Sorry, at 850 and a half. 853. 2.5, wouldn't it? 8, 5 and 3. Good bit. 8, 5 and 3. Very much in front. And selling.
60.
On top. 8, 5 and 3. 8, 5 and 3. 913, sir. Good, sorry. Not
60.
Oh, just 60. 860. 7 on top. Cool. Okay, 860 then. And we are selling. For want of another bid down here on the right at 860. For the first top,
2.5.
2.5, 860, 2.5. Good to see you back, sir. At 860, 2.5. First call. We are selling, ladies and gentlemen. At 860, 2.5. Down here on the left. For the second and third and irrevocable time at 860, 2.5. If I sing your best, sir, are you definitely out? What about you, ma'am? All done? Sir? And at the back? Okay. No late bids, because at 862 and a half, it goes, it is sold! Well done, sir, congratulations. At 862 and a half of 850,000 getting made a day, that is a seriously good investment. Commiserations to my underbidders. I've been Nathan Gilbert on behalf of Mark Summich and Harcourt's Four Seasons and of course the New Zealand Government. Have a wonderful day and an even better week.
What makes Bailey's altogether better? It's the energy we bring to every home, every commercial property, every investment, every development, and every farm. Because when the energy is right, you can feel it. Bailey's, altogether better.
To explore more auction solutions or book a demo, visit auctionslive.com.
But we make sure that all the transactions go through property credit. It takes me out of the equation and it goes through and just makes the whole transaction seamless, which is really good. My assistant, she just loves the process. She sends it out and she finds the responsiveness on the property credit side phenomenal. Like, there's great communication. It's just a very easy, seamless process, which is great. The portal is extremely easy to use, and the way they go through it, look after and personalise our client service, which is really important to us, and giving 6-star service. You've got to remember that most people have most of their equity tied up in their biggest asset. They don't have a lot of liquid funds. So the ability to go through, pay for the marketing and do the marketing they want, and any other slight renovations that they want to do, is a huge thing. So taking that pressure away from people, making sure the property is presented as best we possibly can, and going through and giving 6-star service is what we really want to do, and that's why we love working with property credit, and we've found our clients have been very, very positive towards the whole experience.
We will start. Who like to get the bidding up? $4,400,000 right here in the room. $4,900,000. 4,950,000. 4,950 is the bid at $4 million. I'm selling.
Auctions live bid.
5.7 with 5. 705. We're in the room. 5,705,000. 5,850,000. This time, sir. I'm not even going to look at you again. 5,850,000.
Auctions live bid.
5,650,000.
Auctions live bid.
5,000 again back here in the room. 5,655 it is. 5.6.
Auctions live bid.
5,850. First, second, third and final. Quick finish. Done.
business. We're not in the finance business. You guys are the finance business, so you take it.
Second up in the budding star final, we online there, Nathan? Second up, after that excellent performance from Nathan Gilbert, we have, thank you, please. Right, our second contestant, and this gentleman's come from the Sunny Hooks Bay, straight out of our novice course last year, and he's excited about it. He scrubbed up well with the flash kit on, so let's see whether his performance can match the gear. And he's, as I say, from Napier, and it's Will Tremaine.
About 5 months ago, I found myself atop the Auckland Harbour Bridge, ready to jump. That was, of course, because I was still 7 kilometres away from the halfway point of the Auckland Marathon, and already I was approaching breaking point. Never once did it cross my mind while I was running that bridge that a mere 5 months later, I'd be tasked with selling the darn thing. Last night I found myself having similar dark thoughts. My name is Will Tremaine, and while the task ahead is a daunting one, I am privileged at the opportunity to be part of this momentous occasion. To my vendors, the New Zealand Government and their representative Mark Sumich, thank you. To anyone who has a feeling that Sumich is trying to emulate the works of real estate con artist George C. Parker, most notably known for trying to sell the Brooklyn Bridge, I hear you. Take reassurance, we have completed AML, and while some flags were raised around his gambling involvements, he passed with flying colours. Bidders and prospective buyers, I trust you've had sufficient opportunity to cruise and peruse the investment, along with the relevant documentation, and find yourself here to bid on a strictly cash and unconditional basis. The documentation is where I briefly turn your attention to, specifically Clause 2, titled Conduct of Auction. Today's sale will be confirmed when bidding reaches or surpasses the reserve price. Sat down with Mr. Sumich this morning, we signed a written reserve, and that will remain confidential here in my pocket. The Crown has also granted me sole and exclusive rights to bid on its behalf. Should I make use of that right, it will be below the reserve price, and I'll make it clear that I'm making a vendor bid. I may nominate the bidding increments from time to time. I can refuse bids, and should any disputes arise here today, I'll simply settle them, or we'll reopen bidding at the previous undisputed level. Upon the fall of the contract on my hand, that will signify the end of today's auction. He or she who holds the highest bid will be the winner and proud new owner of the Auckland Harbour Bridge. Seal the deal with 2 quick formalities, sign the memorandum of contract, and pay that 10% deposit of the purchase price. The property we offer today is affectionately known to me as kilometres 14 through 15 of hell on earth, but more formally described as an approximate 1 kilometre section of New Zealand State Highway 1, being the Auckland Harbour Bridge, as well as half-acre allotments of land at each end of the bridge. If that isn't clear enough for you, I'd refer you to clause 23.0 in the further terms of sale, which I take to have been read, understood and accepted. Settlement will take place on Wednesday the 17th of June 2026. You will take some kind of position, however vacant is unlikely, along with the chattels listed in Schedule 1. The chicane moving machine is one of particular interest to me. Always fascinated at how that thing works. Anyway, are there any questions? Fantastic, I'll hold that for later. Ladies and gentlemen, you probably came here expecting to be sold a bridge. But I tell you what, the bridge is merely the supporting structure. For me, and I'm sure for many of you, it is the views, it is the location, and it is the investment opportunity. The view from the top is spectacular. So much so that as I summited the climb, for a second I forgot about the utter agony I was feeling. To one side, Auckland's skyline rises with the Sky Tower front and centre, and to the other, Waitemata Harbour opens out towards the islands of the Hauraki Gulf. The location, well, I'd like to see a property more centrally located. Connecting many of the region's most expensive suburbs with Herne Bay, Ponsonby and the CBD to the south, and Devonport, the North Shore and Takapuna to the north, you will find yourself ensconced in affluence. And speaking of affluence, I ran the numbers, and if the views and location aren't quite enough, the commercial opportunity will surely bridge the gap. On average, 160,000 vehicles cross the bridge daily. In a year, that's 58 million, and if you charge a mere $2 toll per vehicle, that's 116 million in gross revenue per annum. At a profit margin of 50%, let's say, well, that's 58 million in gross profit a year. Infrastructure assets have a notoriously high valuation multiplier, ranging from 15 to 25 times profit. At the lower end of all of my assumptions, the valuation wouldn't give you much change out of $1 billion. With that in mind, I can assure you, you will be certifiably shocked at the level of today's reserve bid with confidence. Ladies and gentlemen, last year I owned the bridge. Now you can too. Who gets me away with an opening bidder offer?
Mr. Auctioneer,
Yes, ma'am.
one of the things I know about chattels included in a sale is that they must all be in working order. And I note 1,000 road cones are part of the sale. Are they all usable?
Ma'am, I haven't cited the road cones myself. As far as I'm aware, as long as they're orange and standing up, they'll be fit for purpose. But you do receive vendor warranties under the agreement that they will be in working order. That's under clause 9 of the agreement. Satisfied with that? Happy to bid on that basis?
Thank you.
Lovely. Any other questions while we're here?
Mr. Auctioneer,
Sir.
I note that the late settlement rate sits at a draconian 20% per annum. If the seller cannot provide me with vacant possession on the settlement date, are they in breach of the contract, also at 20% per annum?
Absolutely correct, sir. That does apply to both sides of the equation. So if they can't settle, they will too be subject to that 20% rate. Does that answer your question? You're happy to bid on that basis? Look forward to your engagement. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back in your hands looking for an opening bidder offer. Where do we get away? Silence. I know there's 5 registered bidders in the room. Looking to see one of you come forward now. Opening bid. Can I suggest perhaps 550 to get us started? Do I see 550 in the room?
429k.
Sir, a bit low to start. We're looking for 550. Can I see 550?
429k.
Nothing north of that. Perhaps a 500, $500,000 to get us started. 429 it is, sir. He's stubborn there at 429,000. Someone take me through that $500,000 mark. Round us off there. Excuse me, sorry, what was that?
20.
20, sir, at 449. 449 back gets you at the back there, sir. Do I see another 20 on top of that? Same there, 469. 469,000 back against you, sir, and you at the back, 489. 489 back against you, ma'am. Do I see 519? 489. 489 at the back, looking for additional 20. Someone take us over that $500,000 mark. At 489, we call it once away. Twice at that number, 489 at the back, third and final time. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'll improve it by 20,000. That takes us to 509. At 509,000, that's on a vendor bid with me against you, sir and ma'am. 509, looking for 529. At 509,000. 559, an excellent bid, sir. 50,000 on the rise. At 559 here, looking for an additional 50. Someone match at 589. At 589, there's my 5th bidder. Love to see your action, sir. At 589,000, do I see it? Same here. 619. At 619,000 here, do I see an additional 30?
6.5.
6.5. 650. 650,000, sir, love the bid. At 650,000, do I see any additional improvements here? At 650,000, I call it once. Twice at 650,000, do I see another 25 in the room? Someone take me to 675. Third and final time at 650,000.
$750,000.
$750,000, a $100,000 rise, an excellent play for the keys of that chicane moving machine. At $750,000, sir, $750,000 of the bid. Excuse me, where was that? Sorry, sir. 25,775. At 775,000 back against you, sir. Take it to 8. A 10 on the hands. 785. At 785,000, is it 20, sir? To 805. It's a 2. 787. 787,000, I've taken a 2, I'll do you all the same courtesy at 789. 789 at the back, no sir, but 1. At 788. 788,000 at the back there. We're taking low numbers at the moment. Someone,
Look,
yes sir.
these numbers are too confusing. I'll round it up.
You'll round it up to 800,000.
Right, I'll make it a dozen.
You'll make it a dozen to 801. Excellent, but do I see another dozen in the room? 789.
788.
788 to 800,000. Excuse my my correction there. Appreciate that. At 800,000. Sir, at 800,000, we're looking for additional rises of 12. Do I see another dozen in the room? At 800,000, we call it away once.
Oh, same as that, mate.
At 812. 812 here in the front. Twice at 812,000. Sorry, once at 812,000. Appreciate the bid, sir. Do I see 824 in the room? At 812, second time. Don't forget about that incredible return on investment. Ladies and gentlemen, that could be somewhere in the range of a $15,000 yield. 15,000% yield. At 812,000, the bid here, third and final call. Any further improvements at the room at 812,000? How about if it's on the market at 800,000, 12,000, we sell away? Same at 824. 824 I have in 836. 836 at the back there, we call it once.
Okay.
848. At 848 once. Second time, 848, who takes me to 860?
2.5.
2.5. To 850 the half. At 850 the half.
And me.
And me, 853. At 853 and back against you, sir, do I see 2.5?
16.
853, 16?
60.
60. That's 60,000 on the rise. At 853 the half. Sorry, at 853 I had 913.
60.
60, 860. Can't knock a man for trying. At 860,000 is a great bid. Late play for the keys to that chicane moving machine. At 860,000, one time.
2.5.
2.5 at 862 the half. At 862 the half and back against you, sir. Can I welcome you back in with a 2.5? 862, he shakes his head. 862 the half here, once. Ma'am, do I see another bid twice at 862 the half? How about you at the back, sir? Third and final time at 862 the half here. Sir, all done? Permission to sell? 862 the half here? No late interest in the room? 862 the half, it's going! It's going! It's gone! To my winner, a personal best for you. Congratulations. My undermint bidders, you may shortly find yourself wanting to jump off a bridge, but I promise you, these things always work out. I finished the marathon and I sold the bridge. There are greener pastures ahead. My name is Will Tremaine. Have a wonderful day.
What makes Bailey's altogether better? It's the energy we bring to every home, every commercial property, every investment, every development, and every farm. Because when the energy is right, you can feel it. Bailey's, altogether better.
To explore more auction solutions or book a demo, visit auctionslive.com.
But we make sure that all the transactions go through property credit. It takes me out of the equation and it goes through and just makes the whole transaction seamless, which is really good. My assistant, she just loves the process. She sends it out and she finds the responsiveness on the property credit side phenomenal. Like, there's great communication. It's just a very easy, seamless process, which is great. The portal is extremely easy to use, and the way they go through it, look after and personalise our client service, which is really important to us, and giving 6-star service. You've got to remember that most people have most of their equity tied up in their biggest asset. They don't have a lot of liquid funds. So the ability to go through, pay for the marketing and do the marketing they want, and any other slight renovations that they want to do, is a huge thing. So taking that pressure away from people, making sure the property is presented as best we possibly can, and going through and giving 6-star service is what we really want to do, and that's why we love working with property credit, and we've found our clients have been very, very positive towards the whole experience.
We will start. Who like to get the bidding up? $4,400,000 right here in the room. $4,900,000. 950,000. 4,950 is the bid at $4 million. I'm selling.
Auctions live bid.
5.7. 705 here in the room. 5,705,000. 5,850,000. This zone too. Okay, I'm not even going to look at you again.
Auctions live bid.
5,650,000.
Auctions live bid.
5,000 again back here in the room. 5,655 it is. 5.6.
Auctions live bid.
850. First, second, third and final. Quick finish. Done. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy for latecomers to come in, Shane, at any stage to send them through. Our third contestant is ready. Great to have you all here as numbers burgeoning quality and quantity. Excellent. Contestant number 3 in this 4-person field, the Budding Stars final, is lurking after 2 excellent calls to commence proceedings. Couldn't pick a winner out of those 2 at the moment. But our third contestant is our first female for the day, and she's here out of Dunedin. Thanks, Price, I love that. And we welcome Shani Micken.
True story. Yesterday I was sitting in those awesome Trade Me headquarter rooms when I got a phone call from the school. My son had fallen out of a tree and hurt his arm. As a mum, 2 things went through my head. Firstly, is he okay? Yes, he was. And secondly, thank God it was a tree and not the Auckland Harbour Bridge. Now, last night when I heard those magic words, Auckland Harbour Bridge, I did think about taking a jump myself. And then very quickly chipped in and said, I know a guy who can hook you up. But today, folks, the only jumping in I'm doing is to help you secure that property. Kia ora, good afternoon and welcome. My name is Shani Vicker. Now, on offer today is the Auckland Harbour Bridge, State Highway 1. Included in the offering are 2 parcels of land and bridged together by that beautiful, beautiful bridge. Now, described illegally as a freehold title, Lot 63 on deposit plan 100-163 on the city side, and Lot 24 on deposit plan 51101, that's the North Shore side. Now, they are 2,024 metres squared each, and for Tina's dad, if he's watching, that is half an acre each, on that unique identifier 946649. Now, settlement has been set for the 17th of June, roughly 13 weeks away, and the chattels remain the same. Now, if you are here to bid and buy today, this is how you do it. Today's offering will be offered up subject to a confidential reserve. Subject to that reserve being reached or breached, just make sure you are the highest bidder and you will take this property. I may nominate the bids, I can refuse a bid, I can place what is known as a vendor bid. If I do, it'll always be well below that reserve price, and you will hear me say those words, vendor bid. Now, in the unlikely event of any disputes, we will simply step back to the last undisputed bid and carry on from there. And yes, as seller, the New Zealand government does have the right to withdraw the property any time before sale, but hey, when has the government ever gone behind its words? Now, once the property is on the market, be that owner, that highest bid, when the paperwork hits my palm, and congratulations, it is going to be yours, you'll come and sign the sales contract and pay that 10% deposit to the trust account. At this point, do we have any questions? Jolly good. Now, for the purposes of today's auction, I'm actually going to give the property a little personality. Today, the bridge is Bridget Jones, because Bridget sits between 2 very different personalities. On the city side, we have a parcel of land that represents a little excitement, a little unpredictability, a place where the nights run longer, and if you look carefully enough, you might even see one of your road cones quietly disappearing into the shadows. That side is Daniel Cleaver. Then the other side, you have the second parcel, the North Shore. A little more composed, a little more respectable, dependable and proper. Even a tidy little shed for keeping everything organised. That side is Mark Darcy. And standing right between the two of them, keeping them connected, is Bridget herself. Now, Bridget has quite the personality of her own. By day, she is responsible and dependable, keeping Auckland moving as thousands cross her. Businesses, getting to work, getting home, keeping everything flowing. And as the traffic settles at night, she lights up like the star of the show, glowing across the harbour for the whole city to see. And if that wasn't exciting enough, she even offers a bit of bungee jumping or even bridge climbing, because, let's be honest, Bridget Jones is sensible when she needs to be, but is always ready for a little excitement to cross her. Now, constructed in 1959, the Auckland Harbour Bridge originally opened with 4 lanes. But like Bridget Jones, and realised life needed to be a little more roomy, in '69 4 more lanes were added. Engineered in Japan, they were the famous Nippon clip-ons, and I wasn't planning on bringing that up, but as a woman, I do feel somewhat qualified to comment on extensions. So today's offering is rather unique. 2 parcels of land and one of New Zealand's most iconic structures. But the real question today is, who is going to step forward and commit to Bridget? Who's making the first move? Looking to you all, opening bid.
Madam Auctioneer, one of the things I know about chattels included in a sale is that they must all be in working order. And I know 1,000 road cones are part of the sale. Are they all usable?
Well, yes, they are. If they're in there, they are all usable, and you can come and check them out before settlement date. And I actually heard Greg Bowden is going to come and count them because he's really quick on his numbers. Anybody else at this point?
Yeah, Madam Auctioneer, I note that the late settlement rate sits at a draconian 20% per annum. If the seller cannot provide me with vacant possession on the settlement date, are they in breach of the contract, also at 20% per annum?
So was that if the seller cannot provide
If
you?
the seller cannot provide me with vacant possession on settlement date, are they in breach of the contract at the 20%?
Yes, they are. And until you actually get that clear settlement that the title is already in your name, that's what that will mean by vacant in this stage, you will get 20% per annum of their day of. So not full 20%, but each day. Sorry, a bit of a tongue twister there. And you will find that under clause 5 as well of the contract. Anybody else? Well, let's jump into it. Who goes first? For this beautiful harbour bridge. Ma'am, you had a good question? How about you, sir? If that answered you, would you like to lead us away with that starting bid? No? Perhaps somewhere around $500,000 might be a good place to start.
429k.
429. Thank you for being our starter there, sir. To help get you this bridge, could I perhaps tempt you closer to that $500,000?
429k.
429. Love your style. Welcome in at 429,000 now. Looking for a rise, somewhere perhaps closer to that 5. At 429, anywhere in the room, and a 20 on top to 49. At 449. 449 now. Is there another 20 or something to take me to that 5? To 69 with you. 469 now. And another 20, he goes. 469 to 489. At 489, surely we're going to go over that 5 now. At 489,000, we call it once, twice, 3 times at 489. Well, I'm actually going to take us to that $500,000 that I've been talking of so far. At 500,000 with the vendor bid, I invite you now to come back in. Sir,
559.
where was that, sorry?
559.
559, welcome in. You seem to like these nights. 559 and you are in the lead spot. Great place to be. 559,000 and a 30. Awesome work there. To 89. 589 with you. Well done. Another horse in the race. At 589. Same. And we're going to go again. Another 30 there. To a 609 with you, ma'am. 619. 619 got you there. At 619, is there another 30 in the room?
6.5.
619 and a 6.5, taking us to 625.5 with you. 650. Great bid, sir. At 650,000, I like it. At 650, well done. Will you come back in now? How about you, sir? It's this back of the room. Our starter at 650,000. Once we call it away. Twice at 650. Third and final call at 650.
$750,000.
This man knows how to bid at 750. Great work with that 100 rise. At 750,000. Very excited to have you back in.
25.
750 to 775. That was you, sir. 775. The guy with the IRD number. 775 and a 10 to 85. Welcome back in at 785. Someone to take me to 8. Just a 2. 785 to 787. 787, okay. A little bit smaller, I hoped. 100,000 for you? Okay. 788. 788, I'll take your one at 788.
Look, these numbers are too confusing. I'll round it up.
We'll round it up to 800,000, sir. 800,000.
Actually, I'll make it a dozen.
I think that's the same number. 800,000. It doesn't, whatever you like to call it, it is with you. At 800,000 now. Once we call it away at 800,000. Another 12 there for you. 848 to 850 and the half. 850 the half.
And me.
And you, 850 the half. And that was another 2.5 on top of that, taking us to 853. At 853 000, the bid, the money. At 853,000. 853 53 and a 60, taking us to 116.
60.
60, 113. Ah, 113. 913. And 913,000 with you.
60.
Oh, just 860. Okay, well, I was just trying to get up higher than the bridge itself. At 860, sir. At 860, appreciate your bid. At 860,000 to 62 and a half we go. At 862, 500 the bid, the money. At 862 and a half, you coming back in now? How about you, sir? Have it forgotten about you down the back, or a lovely lady with the cone question? At 862,000, once, twice, 3 times. Remember, we are selling, we were on the market, we were playing for keeps. Are we all done? A 5, a 2. Anyone else? How about you, sir? Are you in? You? No, don't be like my son in the tree. He wasn't in either. I'm done. We're selling. Last chance. Sold! Huge congratulations to our seller and to our new owner. You have the full bragging rights of the Auckland Harbour Bridge. To our underbidders today, thank you so much for coming. And as Bridget Jones would say, carry on, because tomorrow is another day.
Well done, Shani. Good on you. Thanks for all that effort. Tremendous.
What makes Bailey's altogether better? It's the energy we bring to every home, every commercial property, every investment, every development, and every farm. Because when the energy is right, you can feel it. Bailey's, altogether better.
Challenges we're seeing, especially at the moment, is because of the high interest rate, new carpet. So we're finding a lot of that is happening at the moment because I think the style of buyer that is out there right now, their expectations, if they're going to pay $1 million for something that was only worth $600,000 3 years ago, their expectations of the buy is now way up here. You know what I mean? So when you take that property to the market, they're expecting it to be perfect. And a lot of sellers are just, they just don't have that sort of cash flow at the moment to really make their home perfect.
To explore more auction solutions or book a demo, visit auctionslive.com.
But we make sure that all the transactions go through property credit. It takes me out of the equation and it goes through and just makes the whole transaction seamless, which is really good. My assistant, she just loves the process. She sends it out and she finds the responsiveness on the property credit side phenomenal. Like, there's great communication. It's just a very easy, seamless process, which is great. The portal is extremely easy to use, and the way they go through it, look after and personalise our client service, which is really important to us, and giving 6-star service. You've got to remember that most people have most of their equity tied up in their biggest asset. They don't have a lot of liquid funds. So the ability to go through, pay for the marketing and do the marketing they want, and any other slight renovations that they want to do, is a huge thing. So taking that pressure away from people, making sure the property is presented as best we possibly can, and going through and giving 6-star service is what we really want to do, and that's why we love working with Property Credit, and we've found our clients have been very, very positive towards the whole experience.
We will start. Who'd like to get the bidding up? $4,400,000 right here in the room. $4,900,000. $4,950,000. 4,950 is the bid at $4,000,000. Selling.
Auctions live bid.
5.7 to 5. 705. You're in the room. 5,705,000. 5,850,000. This time too. Okay, I'm not even going to look at you again. 5,850,000.
Auctions live bid.
5,650,000.
Auctions live bid.
5,000 again back here in the room. 5,655 it is. 5.6.
Auctions live bid.
5,850. First, second, third and final. Quick finish. Done.
We're introduced to Property Credit, and then once they sort of dropped everything on the table, it was like, oh my God, you know, we've been looking for a product like this. We'd been using another one, but it was very, very long-winded, the way the forms that had to be filled out, the compliance. Their marketing, our outstanding marketing was just getting to a level where we...
What makes Bailey's altogether better? It's the energy we bring to every home, every commercial property, every investment, every development, and every farm. Because
final contestant. Ready to go, Nathan? You're welcome. Our final contestant is lurking in the Budding Stars final here at LBD at the Ponsonby Cruising Club. We're in the Logan room. Right there. That's me. And this gentleman, he's hobbled his way to success. I don't know how he got up the stairs. We had a lift for him. Didn't want to do any of that. But nevertheless, he is here in all his glory. Out of Tremaine's Real Estate in the Hawke's Bay. And we welcome him back to see whether he can finish it off and take the chocolates. It is Elliot Mackey.
With the government reopening foreign investment for properties over $5 million, it only seems fair they lead by example. And today, they've decided to start with a modest asset, the Auckland Harbour Bridge. Yet, our owners decided it's time to continue with with selling the assets of the private. Yet, our owner has decided it's time to continue with the privatisation of government assets. And if the bidding goes well, I'm told that the beehive might be live next week. My name is Elliot Mackey, and I'm privileged to be here today to help guide you to a successful purchase of a unique asset, the Auckland Harbour Bridge on State Highway 1, as noted under clause 23.0, in the further terms, consists of 2 parcels of land at 2,024 metres square each, and the steel arch that connects them both. The channels are laid out clearly, which includes 1,000 road cones. It may sound excessive, but Auckland being Auckland needs 10 cones per metre. The settlement date is noted down for Wednesday the 17th of June 2026. And although it's vacant possession, best of luck with your final inspection and bring a high vis. Today's property is being sold subject to a reserve price, set by our representative, Mr. Summich. If that price is reached or breached, it will be sold to the highest purchaser. If I hear nothing from you from the floor, I may place a bid on behalf of our owner. And it will always be below the reserve price, but I'll clearly identify it as a vendor bid. At times I may nominate the amount that we move along in the bidding, and I may have to reject the bid if I deem it in the interest of the vendor. If there are any disputes, I will reintroduce the property at the last undisputed bid. And at the fall of the contract to my hand, that successful purchaser will be required to sign the memorandum of contract and pay the 10% deposit. In the late 1950s, with the weight of the war still heavy on our shoulders, Auckland Harbour Bridge rose from the grit and determination. Over 5,600 tonnes of structural steel was shipped all the way from England. Over 205,000 high tensile bolts, 1,000 burly men, and 4 lost souls went into creating the lifeline across the Waitemata. This isn't just a steel structure. It's a marriage of two iconic landmarks that creates Auckland's connection to its favourite holiday destinations. Imagine family barbecues on this side of the city, around a cricket on the North Shore, family movie nights upon the arch. But waking up to a gorgeous sunrise after a night of sleeping under the stars. But if it wasn't just a sunrise, it was inspiration. If it was life-changing, now you start thinking, what is possible? If you introduce and be a $2 toll per car, 170,000 crossings per day, that allows you to pocket over $120 million a year. That's a better investment than insider trading. Just ask Eric Watson. Now, why stop there? Stay for years. Stockpile your return. Purchase the land north of the bridge. Make them an offer they cannot refuse. You are already in control of the gateway, so declare it the Republic of Zeeland. Your family, your bridge, royalty. Waving the flag as Aucklanders line up to pay homage. Create a tax-free haven. Make it a destination. The Caribbean of the Pacific. People have made fortunes by buying islands. Look at Richard Branson, bought Virgin Island for $180,000. Now, well north of 100 million USD. Some guy bought Epstein Island as well, but we won't get hung up on him. In investing, the lesson is simple. Know when to buy, and definitely know when to sell. But today, we're here for the former. So I need you to get me started. Who wants to own this landmark?
Mr. Auctioneer?
Yes.
One of the things I know about chattels included in a sale is that they must all be in working order. And I note 1,000 road cones are part of the sale. Are they all usable?
I would certainly like to think so. Upon your final inspection, which I definitely do way more than a day prior to settlement taking place, because you've got a lot of cones to count, I would double check they are in all good working order. Any further questions?
Yes, Mr. Auctioneer, I notice the late settlement rate sits at a draconian 20% per annum. If the seller cannot provide me with vacant possession on the settlement date, are they in breach of the contract, also at 20% per annum?
Yes, they are actually from 4 PM on the settlement date. They are. So yes, so the 20% on the front of the contract does override the standard in the general terms, that's clause 3.3 I understand. But yes, it's applicable to both parties. Okay. So you've got what you need from me. Now who is going to get me started? Who's going to move us along somewhere in the room? Someone throw me a number. That's in that $550,000 range. Someone see me off at
429k.
429, a bit lower, sir. I wouldn't be doing you justice by taking on a bid at such a lower amount. We've got such a further part to go. Would you look at coming up to 550?
429k.
We'll play that game then, sir. Welcome to the bidding. You certainly look like a local. $429,000. We've got moving along here. I'd like to move us along to that 550 range if I can. We're at 429. 20. Okay, but it's a bit lower than what I'm after, but I'll take your 20. So that moves us along to 449,000. So I've got you locked in at 449 down the back. We'll just keep moving along at 20s for now. 449 down the back, looking for a 469. Can you identify yourself, please? Oh, right there. So we've got 469 right here down the front. 469, locking in at 469. Is there another 20, sir? Yes, I'll take that as a 20. We're at 489 down the rear. 489 down the rear, looking for another 20. Locked in at 489. Someone move us along into the 500s there at 489. Anyone else in the room? We're going once at 489, twice at 489. We're looking for 509 somewhere in the room. Third, final time. Well, I'll place the vendor bid at $509,000. So that bid is with me at 509. Invite someone just to round me off there to that 550 range so we can keep moving along smoothly. Is there anyone in the room?
559.
559, strong bid, sir. Welcome in. 559 down here. We've got a $50,000 bid. That is fantastic. Anyone else moving along? 550. The 30. That moves us along to 589. I'll take your 30. Anyone else here interested in putting another 30 in there?
Same.
589. That moves us along to 519. 519 down the centre. No, 529. You say $30,000 on 589. 599, 509, 519.
I bet it's 619.
619, sorry, no hell. Saved off 1,000. As happened before, the vendor won't be happy, but I'm sure you would be. Okay, so we've got 619,000 down here at
6.5.
6.5, we're up to 650. $650,000 down here on my right. $650,000 going once at $650,000. Twice, $650,000. Third, final time.
$750,000.
$750,000. I'll take your $750,000 bid there. It's very strong bidding. How about we move along to 50,000 rises? We'll take your 25 then. We've got 750 down the back there. Moving along with the 25. Moving us along to 775. Got you locked in at 775 there, sir, down at the back. And is that a 10, sir? So that moves us along to 785 down there at the rear. Moving along, is that a 2? I prefer to move along with another 10, sir. We're at 785 at the moment. Would like to move you to 795? Okay, he's steering me down. I'll take your 2. So that moves us along to 787. We've got 787 down there on my left, and we're down to single numbers now. Okay, 788 down there at the rear. How about someone just round me off to 800,000? Someone round me off to $800,000.
Look, these numbers are too confusing.
Oh, okay, sure. How can I help?
I'll round it up.
You'll round it up to $800,000?
Oh, wait, I'll make it a dozen.
You'll make it a dozen. So we're rounding it up? Yep, fantastic. So we're at $800,000 down here on my left. 800 down on my left here. Move along. How about we move along those 25s again? 800,000 on my left. Looking for 825 somewhere in the room. Going once at $800,000.
Same
Twice.
as mate.
So add another dozen to that. So $812,000. 812 down here on my right. Anyone else want to move along with a nice dozen there? I'll even take a baker's dozen if you like, and an extra single line. $812,000. Looking for another 12 in the room. Someone round me up to 824. We're going once at $812,000, twice at $812,000, third and final time. Ladies and gentlemen, I talk about the scrap value also of the bridge. Multiple investment opportunities here. We are on the market, if that helps. $812,000, can I see any other bids in the room? Yep, so we've got another 12, that moves us along to $824,000. Same again, sir? I'll take that as a yes. Nice strong arm in the air. That moves us along to $836,000. Do I see another 12 somewhere in the room?
Okay.
836. That moves us along to 848 down the centre here. $848,000. $848,000 going once, going twice, and we've got $850,000 and a half. So we're at 50 and a half down here on my left. Yep, that moves us along to 853. We've got 53 down the rear. 53 down the rear. Looking for another 2.5 somewhere in the room. $60,000. That moves us along to 910 and a half. 910 and a half down here on the right. $60,000. Please confirm. $860. $860,000 on my right. $860 on my right down here. Anyone else move us along with another 10? We've got $860,000 on my right down here. It's going once,
2.5.
twice. $862,000. Another 2.5, sir. Add on to it. $862,000. Going once, going twice, going third, final time. We're on the market, we are selling away. $860,000.
My bid was 2.5.
862,000 and a half. 862,500. Can you please confirm your bid, sir? Please confirm your bid, sir. 862,000. Yeah, 862,500. Yep. 862,500 down here on my left. It's going once. 862.5 twice. Third and final time. We are selling away, ladies and gentlemen. Are there any more bids in the room? Sir, this is your opportunity here. Don't miss out. He's nodding his head. Sir, ma'am, how about you? Nothing left in the tank. How about you, sir? We're selling away 862.5. First time, third, final, first, second, and third. Selling away. It's going. It's going. It's gone. To our successful purchaser, congratulations. When you start your new republic, please remember who helped you secure the purchase. To our underbidders, this is the gentleman to make friends with. If not, please get to the South Island as soon as possible. Thank you so much.
Well done. Well done.
What makes Bailey's altogether?
Our Budding Stars final, and we ask that our senior finalists now move through to the locker, please. Congratulations to all four of those callers. They were superb efforts, and a tough decision awaits our judging group. But thank you for being here and for participating. Stand by.
What makes Bailey's altogether better? It's the energy we bring to every home, every commercial property, every investment, every development, and every farm. Because when the energy is right,